Episode 36. Mark's about to open his beer.
It's going to go everywhere. I know it is.
Oh. Well, that was a letdown, wasn't it?
Well, the suspense there.
Built it up.
I would have loved it if he'd have opened it and gone, oh, that went well. All in his face.
Geezer.
But yeah, all good.
So we've got 2 new guests tonight. All the way to Northern Double Act.
Taking over, aren't we?
I can't really say Leeds because Huddersfield, isn't it?
But yeah, it's close to Leeds.
Yeah, I was going to say the Leeds duo, like an Ant and Deck of Leeds.
Like a Ant and Deck.
It's just the North. There's some people from
You order Ant and Deck off Aldi.
George Clooney off Wish.
George Clooney, that.
So, 2 new guests tonight. We've got Dave, Dangerous Dave, Dave White Plumbing.
The new big team.
The new...
Have you labelled yourself? Are you the new big thing?
That might be the new headline, I think. Yeah.
No one's ever said that to
No, they haven't, no.
Well, we normally promote ourselves at the end of the show, but well done.
All the way through.
So I'm here.
And we've also got Kryss from Tom and Stone.
Yep. All right.
The new big ting.
The bigger ting. It is a bigger ting.
So who do you want to start with? Who should we
We'll start with a bit of stonework, I think. It's quite intriguing.
It's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to hearing
because I always, after having Rach on, the Ginger Mason, it's always a bit of an odd one for people to get into because she says literally nobody really thinks about it.
And for me, her podcast, I just think brilliant, absolutely brilliant because it was so different. Usually it's fucking carpenters and chippies and same
plumbers.
Yeah, it's just us,
definitely. It's always the same.
Have something a bit different.
So yeah, we'll start with you.
I actually spoke to Rach about it as well. She messaged me and said, "Are you going on?" So
did she say that you're going to have to deal with all those pricks in the office?
No, I don't think she said that. No, she just said
her episode actually was one of my favourite stories because Sam, who was on Carpentry by Sam, and then Rach at the same time, both had and that was just completely by chance. That we'd managed it. Yeah, it was completely by chance.
I'm going to say because I've watched it a few times and just seen Sam's face because he was sat here, wasn't he?
Yeah.
When he was clicking into place.
Yeah, and he were like, "Have you lived my life?"
Yeah,
and it was just weird.
It's basically just take us back to sort of how you started, how you got into the trade, and then sort of a bit of insight into sort of what you actually do on a day-to-day basis.
Well, growing up, I never knew what stonemason was. I didn't know. I wanted to be a rugby player, and I put all my energy into that.
Well, they say you ain't got the build for it.
No.
Rugby league, I presume.
No, rugby union.
Rugby union.
Oh, rugby union player. Yeah, I did play.
Say that up north. That's like blasphemy as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is a little. But no, I played rugby union for all my life basically, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play rugby, and
what position?
I was a fullback.
Fullback.
Yeah. It was only as I got older, I filled out a little bit and they moved me forward. Big boys, I didn't like that. But
the next big thing.
Yeah, another big thing.
The only thing is when you get to a certain age, they are big.
Well, yeah, I was playing open age rugby at 15-year-old, and you're not allowed to really.
I was a fly half. I got to 15. I was like, not in the face. Not in the face. How in the face? It's terrible.
Yeah, so I played rugby. I'm not playing rugby for about 4 or 5 teams. I was with Leeds in England for 2 years.
Yeah. Then
I got injured. I didn't get a professional contract, so it was sort of I didn't have a plan B.
Yeah.
I left school, and I didn't know what we were going to do. My mum, by chance, happened to see my uncle in the pub one night, and he was with one of his mates, and she said to him, "Do you know anyone that needs a labourer?" My son's
someone take him.
Just have him. Get him out of the house. Pretty much. And he said, "Yeah, I need a labourer to come and work in my stone yard." So I rocked up one day. I was there for a couple of years. And I was still umming and ahhing about what I wanted to do, but I said I want a career, I want a trade, I want to do something for myself. I don't just want to be a labourer for the rest of my life. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it just wasn't for me. He said, "Well, I can't afford to lose you. Do you want to be a stonemason?" I'm like,
had you tried, while you've been there for that few years, had you tried?
I'd done little bits of it. Yeah, I'd done little bits of like backing off, and it was just mainly sort of loading wagons, unloading wagons, and sorting customers out and getting orders ready. We didn't at that point. It wasn't that big, so he didn't have a stonemason at that point.
Right.
But he wanted me to do it because he said, "I think you'd be good at it. You've got a bit of artistic flair about you, and an eye for detail." So I went and did it. I did my 2 years at college. I got qualified, and I said, "Right, that's me. I want to come back to the yard and just work full time now." And he said, "No, go and do your 3rd year." it'll be good for you. So I did, and then I've been doing it ever since. I worked for him for 17 and a half years, and I only left last April. I set up on my own.
Right, okay.
I was stuck in a rut, so to speak. I was doing the same thing day in, day out, and I was just bored.
What was the sort of majority of his work then? Was it the same thing day in, day out?
Yeah, pretty much. It was like chamfering heads and sills and doing fireplaces, the odd fireplace, but coping stones, and it was just a bit boring, really.
Monotonous.
Basic masonry. And I just wanted to do a little bit more. So I started doing the carving side of things on my own back. I taught myself how to do it, and then I met a bloke called Ryan who went through the other aspect of carving with me and taught me a little bit more. And I was like, no, this is what I want to do. I want to start carving stone and making nice pieces, specific bespoke pieces. So I started doing that, and then I sort of just had enough, and I was like, my missus pushed me into doing it. She went, just go on your own, set up on your own, just do it. You can do it. I've got the drive. I wanted to do it. The time we're ready. So
a lot of people did that during COVID because they thought, hold on a minute, I'm going to go on my own. Which most people, if you spoke to normal people, would go, what a weird time, like to go on your own because.
But there's a lot of reflection, weren't there? Then going, do you know what? While the whole world went to shit, in essence, people went, I'm going to do it. Why not? Let's have a go. And probably the same for you. You've gone, right.
Has it been as you expected, or is it, you think...
Well, I didn't really have that time to sit and think when COVID were on because I was still working. Basically, because I worked in a shed. I were isolated from everybody else. I were on my own. He said, well, I had 2 weeks off, and he basically pretty much said, you've had long enough now, come back to work. So
I did that to myself though. I was so bored at home. I was like, I need to go back.
Everybody else were off. There were like 3 people in. There were lad in saw shed, me in banker shop, and then like a couple of bosses and stuff like that. Were about it really. So I didn't really have that time to sit and reflect. It was more of a build-up over the years of just doing the same thing, the same drive, the same 4 walls, stood in that same banker shop. I never saw anything.
Was you always in the same place then? You didn't go out to sites or anything?
Once in a blue moon.
Right, okay.
I'd once in a blue moon get to go out onto site and maybe pair a few little bits in.
That's where I would massively struggle. Same as like...
in other words, he was going home, moaning to his missus, and she was like, I can't deal with you anymore.
I've had enough of this. Get out. Pretty much, yeah. She...
But like with we're here, there and everywhere all the time.
Different. You're doing different things, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're going into different places.
But the thing with it, you're constantly in that same place. And you'd be like...
17 and a half years.
Yeah.
The same... drive to work, the same drive home, the same 4 walls, the same work to an extent. Some of it were a bit different, but it was just...
How old were you when you actually got the job with...
I was 16. I just left school, and pretty much my mum was like, you need to work. The whole rugby thing didn't happen, so I was a bit... knocked me for 6 a bit, really, because I'd put everything into it, and I got very far, and it just didn't happen, so...
Did they just release you from the rugby then? Went, no, you're not good enough, you're not for us, done.
As soon as you get injury.
It was the injury, pretty much.
They didn't want to see you through that. They didn't go, right, he's got what we need. Savage, isn't it? Sometimes the sports side of stuff is savage.
And for somebody that I was young as well, I was 15 when it was just, no, it's not going to happen. Because I've had 3 operations on my knee, and I need a major one. No, I knocked it on edge.
Do you know what? I've got a guy that works for me, Rich, and he's 44. Rich 44? Something like that. I don't want to say he's 45 and then piss him off, but he's 44, and you can hear him walk through the office, and he's like...
Yeah. That's pretty much my life.
And that's his knee, and it's like, just stop playing, mate. Yeah. And he's like, no, I can't.
Yeah, I miss it. I did carry on playing. I played all the way up till probably 5 years ago. Obviously not at the same level, but I'd played for a few years, and then I'd have a couple of years off, and then I'd get itch and go back and play again, then I'd injure something else, and then I'd get injured again. And
the missus is going, will you pack it in?
You just give up, Yeah. She came to watch me once, and I think I were on the pitch for about 5 minutes, and I actually took myself off. I just took myself off
for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and that was it. I was done, and I was like,
one cameo.
Set a try up, went back off, and I was like, that's me done. Bah. Yeah. Pretty much. So it would... I just I'd had enough, and I wanted to do my own thing and see different things, like you just said about going and seeing different areas and stuff like that. It was hard because I only ever saw it on the banker. So a piece of stone would come off the saw, I get my drawings, my templates, I'd do the piece, and then it'd go on a pallet and go. I'd never see it again. I never got to see it in. Whereas now, I'm getting jobs where I make the piece of stone, and then they'll say, well, can you come and fit it? And I've not done that side of the things before, so I'm learning now. I've gone back to learning a different side of what I do.
What's your favourite thing that you do then? Because just for people that are watching or listening, like for me, I don't really know what type of stuff that you would specialise in, or the stuff that you really like. What is the stuff that you...
The things that I'm trying to do at the moment, the carving side of things, I just recently did a Highland cow into a big old piece of stone. I did the face of a Highland cow and his shoulders and things like that, with the horns and stuff. That were really nice to do.
Yeah. Where do people put these things?
Where
did the Highland cow go?
He's actually got Highland cows, so he breeds them. But he was putting them in the entrance of his farm.
Yeah.
So it's going into a dry
So what sort of size was that?
It was big old, probably about 1,500 long.
Yeah.
By about 1.2 high.
Yeah.
So it was a big piece of stone, and the cow. I think the circle that I put around the cow's head were about 500 circumference.
And that's just one block?
Yeah, just one piece of stone. We cut the bottom of it off so it'd sit flat.
Yeah.
And then he was putting the dry stone wall around it, which were pretty good. That were a nice one to do.
So what's the time? How long would that take then?
That took me 4 days to do that one piece, which isn't that long in masonry.
Can you imagine you stuck on a job for 4 days?
I mean,
half hour, I'm gone.
Yeah. Is it Friday yet?
That's not that long in masonry, really. Some people can be on a piece of stone for 2 or 3 weeks. You know, I've done pieces where I've been on it, the same piece for over a week. Yeah. It's like stuff that Rachel does.
It never stops when she gets to the end.
Yeah, they just go around and they do another piece. You know, that the stuff that she does is unreal. You know, that cathedral work it's amazing to do, and they do it all by hand.
And they just get, from memory, they just get on with it. Just take your time. No rush.
Well, they don't get rushed like we do.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're on the commercial side of things, we get rushed. You know, you've got deadlines. It's like, so we use grinders and air hammers and things like that, whereas they just do it all mallet and chisel. So I would train with mallet and chisel.
Just tapping away.
Come on, day rate, I do. So I use them grinders and things like that as well, because it speeds it up and we can get through it quicker, because we've got deadlines to meet. And it knocks it out of you. I mean, my hands are shot. I'm 35-year-old. But it comes with it, you know. I'm looking at coming off the tools in the next 5 years. So I want to be not so much off the tools, but doing more of the little intricate carving things and teaching people how to do it. I get messages all the time saying, "Oh, can you come and teach me how to do this?"
Well, Rach actually said, because you mentioned that you went to college, Rach actually said that to get trained, there's hardly any place. Didn't she train?
I think there's 4.
Bristol or somewhere like that, or somewhere random she trained.
Yeah, I think there's about 4 up and down the UK. There's not that many that do it, and they've actually just started cutting funding for it.
Oh, right.
So there's going to be hardly any people coming through.
You thought they'd just be trying to keep them there, wouldn't you?
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But people are going to have to start doing it like in-house training. So that'll go back to people like myself that have done it for years, training the next lot to come up. But nobody really wants to do it. It seems to be, a lot of people call it a dying trade. I won't call it a dying trade. It's forgotten. Yeah. It seems to be
very
forgotten.
Specialist, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You never think when you go into like a cathedral, like York Cathedral or something, you never think that people are consistently working on it. You just go in and you're like, oh, this is amazing.
They just literally go round and round.
It's just survived for thousands of years and it just still looks
they did well back then, didn't they?
Oh, look at that piece there. That's very clean.
I mean, that's one thing that angers me with obviously cutting funding and stuff like that, is you do look at some of those buildings and think, they can't even build that shit now.
Yeah.
Just do you know what I mean? They can't
square.
You watch Absolutely Shocking. They can't even build a normal house.
Yeah.
So you think to yourself, like,
it's a shame that you don't get. It's all down to price and everything, isn't it? You know?
Well, yeah, people want the quick solution, don't they? Where they'll put a big steel frame up and they'll just put some block work up and then render it and it's done. You know, instead of.
But it looks.
Tell you what, I'd love to get done. Statue of myself.
No.
2 massive
just
teeth.
Stood outside uni like HP like this.
2 massive teeth. But you know where like they. Did you ever see the James Corden one where he did it to David Beckham?
Yeah. Stitched him
and he made it look like just get one done of Pete, and he's like really skinny arms and legs.
We'll do one of you and do one of Pete. So we'll do him really skinny, and we'll do you massive.
And me just turbo inch. Brilliant. Have you ever had a request to do stuff like
that? No, not a full statue. I've asked somebody to do a head. Yeah. A head, but it's something I've never done. You know, and that would take a lot to do. My friend that I mentioned before, Ryan, he does them. He's got a fine art degree, and he can draw and do all sorts of stuff. He's so talented.
He's another one who can draw this one over here.
The posh Viking.
You went to the same uni as Rach, didn't you?
I think I was same place. I think I was 1 year ahead, something like that.
Uni friend.
That was quite spooky.
Yeah. Was a weird episode that though, wasn't it? What have you done, Mark?
Fucking hay fever or something.
Oh, here we go. He's crying.
What a story.
What a story.
Brought it to tears, go mate. Yeah.
The chin was going and everything.
I thought you were about to sound perspiring over here again.
I didn't even go into detail about stuff then. I've got you in tears. I could have told you my full story.
You can cast stone.
I could have told you everything. I'd be bawling.
Wait until he gets going.
I'll be emotional roller coaster when Dave
I should have gone first. That's way better than mine. Way better.
So when you get commissioned to do what you're doing now, do they just let you run with it, or are you actually strict on what they want, or can you put your input into it as well? I asked because last time we had...
and how do you actually get work for that? How do people find you? Do they ever tell you how they found you?
Do you know, in my head, I'm just thinking like when people die and have the big headstones.
Yeah, I do headstones.
So you do a lot of that?
I don't do a lot of headstones. They're very time consuming and they're quite, I'm going to say, surreal to do because...
You're marking someone's death, aren't you?
Pretty much. You know, I've got one that I'm doing for a friend that passed away a few years ago. Their mum and dad asked me to do it for them. And the only thing that goes through my mind is when I'm doing something like that is people are going to be coming and looking at that to remember somebody for as long as they're alive. So it needs to be absolutely pristine.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no messing about. But going back to what you asked about, do I have an input? Some people message me and say, look, I want a piece of stone doing. I don't know what I want doing. All I know is I want this to say.
Do you love them?
This.
I want a piece of stone doing, but I've got no idea what I want.
Fantastic.
Call me back in an hour.
When people go, what a bathroom
Drop
doing?
your block off.
What do you think? I hate that. What do you think? It's not my bathroom. You want that?
I want it purple with green spots.
What do you think it'll be like? Be great. If that's what you want, crack on.
I do like having an input in things. Like I went and did a job only the other day, and he had a vague idea of what he wanted. So I went and tidied up his gatepost that he'd had put in, and he wanted the street name and number put in. But when I got there, we didn't have enough room to get it all in. So we came up with an idea of just putting the number 1 in, but ONE instead of the actual number.
Yeah.
And then you were like, yeah, all right, yeah, I like that. So they let me run with that. And then I said to him, I said, well, while I'm here, why don't I put it in your other one as well?
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, yeah. Yeah, well, can you do that? So, well, yeah, I'm doing it already in one, so I might as well do it in another one. So it's symmetrical, you know, it matched. And then other people say, well, I want a piece of stone, but I don't know what I want it to be. I like this and I like that. So I said, well, I'll put a few ideas together. I'll get something drawn up and then I'll send you it and see what you think. If you like it, we'll go with it. If you want to change anything, we'll tweak it a little bit and we'll do something different. So I do, but then on the other hand, I do get some saying, I want this, only this, got to be this size, this shape.
They know exactly what they want.
I want this type of stone, and that's it.
It can't be done. That's what I want.
Sometimes
I don't care. That's what I want.
Yeah, pretty much, you know, sometimes.
But I think you get that in every trade, no matter what.
Sometimes it's unrealistic what they want, though, and they'll say, I want this, and I want it doing in a week, and I want it to cost this much.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, then I ain't doing it for you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, wrong number. Wrong number.
Well, I'm not doing it for you then, you know, because to make some of the things that I do in the time frame that they think, well, it'll take me that long to draw it out and mark it up.
People's idea of how long jobs take is mind blowing, isn't it? That you do a job for someone, it'll only take you I hate that term. It'll only take you 5 minutes. You won't be here long. Oh, so you're already telling me how long it's going to take to do that job. I just get the ump and go.
It's because they've watched you on YouTube and he's like, flipping.
Now
He's been there 30 minutes. He's only got his GoPro out.
40 minutes. The bathroom's in.
Yeah.
No, don't.
Yeah, but then on the other end of that, sometimes I'll go.
Imagine that. I've watched you. You put it in 40 minutes on YouTube. You are episode 6.
But some of the comments, people are that fucking stupid.
They believe it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can't believe you took that long to do that. Well, no, I've edited it down, mate.
Yeah, well, I've done a few jobs before and I've said, look, yeah, I'll come and do it. it's going to be this much. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah. So I get there, and because I've done it for that long, I'm quite quick at it.
Yeah.
So I got there, completely worked all the stone that he wanted doing. I said, all right, I'm done. He went, well, that didn't take you long.
Is it cheaper?
There we go. It was either, it was one of the, is it cheaper or,
well,
why am I paying, why are you paying?
See that, mate?
Why am I paying you that much when it's not taking you so long?
Yeah.
Oh. And then if you said, I've seen that, so well, have you seen that one?
Yeah, welcome to his brother. But you get it. People are, well, in that case, if it went wrong and I was here for 3 days, you're going to pay me 3 days to do it when I've only quoted you a day. Blows my mind. I did a video on it.
You should have said, I could have sat there and smoked 20 fags and then
had a couple of beers and watched a film or something. But they just don't have a concept of time. It's taken me 18 years to get as quick as I am doing.
You're not paying for that. You're paying for the knowledge.
You're paying for the experience.
People can't moan if you've agreed a price.
Yeah, but people do. They still do.
They do.
So have you found with your Instagram side of stuff and putting it out there, how's that worked with the way? Because yours is very, very visual.
Yeah.
You know, everyone knows plumbing side of stuff. Everyone knows plumbing, electrics, etc. But yours is a visual thing.
It's more artistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really did anything much on social media. I posted the odd picture until I went and did a job for Phil, you know, a proper Yorkshire builder.
Yeah.
I went and did a job for him.
He's a good lad, Phil.
Yeah, he's sound, Phil. He's a good friend. Well, I met him because somebody recommended me, or a few people recommended me. So he messaged me and said, "Look, you come and do this."
Did he still bring the Yorkshire tea bags?
He said he was going to make me a cup of tea, but he didn't. His dad did.
Cheeky.
Dad, crack on.
Yeah. So I went and did the day with Phil, and he says, "Oh, come down and do it," because I thought I'd just make the stone, drop it off for him. He says, "No, come here, do it here, and we'll film you while you're doing it." And I'm like, "What do you mean you're going to film me?" Like, we're a bit all alien to me. Yeah.
You've done nothing.
None of that before.
Nothing.
No, none of that. Because where I worked before, we weren't even allowed us phones on us.
Right. Okay.
So I'd have it on me, and I'd
That's good though.
sneak a picture of what I was
missus in here. Leave your phone in the locker. Oh, thank God.
Well, I'd have my phone on me and I'd sneak a picture of what I'd done, but regarding filming and stuff like that, I'd never done any of it. So I went, obviously, did that job for Phil that day, and I was like, why not I do it? Because I'd not seen anybody else doing it with what I do. So I started doing it, and I got some good traction, and it started to grow, and it's still growing. It's still getting, it's hard though, because like you're saying, it is very niche, and not a lot of people seem to be that interested in it. It's more people in a trade rather than the general public that like it.
If you're Simon Bowler doing gazebos, everyone loves it.
Well, you gotta love Bowler, aren't you?
Everyone loves his work.
Yeah, he's good. He's very good. He's a nice guy as well. I've met him. No, the Instagram thing is very good, and it's hard work though. You know, I'll be at work, so I'll get to work and I'll set my tripod up and I'll get filming away. And then when I get home, so I've been out at work all day, and I get home and I start editing my videos, and I can feel the eyes burning.
Instagram widows everywhere.
There's loads.
And I can feel it. And she's right, you know, I do work all day, every day. Yeah. And then I come home and I'm on my phone and I'm trying to edit videos and stuff. So it's time consuming. But
I think it depends what you want to get out of it. Whether you, like for me, with my stuff, it's now a business. I now take part of my...
YouTube, you make money off it.
Yeah. So it becomes a business thing where you go, right, I'm going to finish that job at 1. The next 3 or 4 hours, I do all my editing on my phone. I'm still working, doing that because it's now, an income.
Yeah. Well, I don't do the YouTube thing. You know, I set
That's why you're not on a day, right?
Price, mate. Price a lot.
Price work. I did set up a YouTube page, and people have told me, do it. You know, people would be interested in it, and they'd like to see what you do.
You'd probably find the one thing with YouTube is people, once they go down that rabbit hole and then just come onto one of your videos.
Yeah.
Whereas Instagram, I think you have to take an interest in something. Do you know what I mean? You have to find stuff a bit more, whereas YouTube will just toss out that random video that you'd never normally watch.
Connects onto what interest you have or what you previously watched, and it starts drip feeding.
Phil started his as well, didn't he? He's done all right with that.
Phil?
He's YouTube,
Yeah, he's going. When I got there, because I've done another job for him recently.
But even doing stuff with him, and that then
it would, you know, if I had mine up and running at the same time, it would have worked really well. But
is that the one where he was doing the tiles round the? Is that job? He's got like a gazebo.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I've been on and made a piece of stone for that as well. Yeah. And he met me at my yard. I think it was 6:30. So then we got to site. I think we were about 7:10. I didn't pick up my mallet and chisel till I think it was 10:30 because we were just filming and doing other bits and bats, and they wanted to do an intro and things like that. And I'm like, you know, again, it was still a bit. Although I'd done it before, and I set my camera up and stuff, but he was doing the different things for YouTube, and I'm like, you know, I could do this. I could easily do this. It's just about finding the time in it. You know, it's all time. At the moment.
think because yours is very niche, it's very you don't see it a lot.
No.
So I think there's a massive audience out there for it.
Oh, definitely. It's a real skill, isn't it? That's the thing. There's a lot that, you know, even with ours, a lot of it's not that much skill.
Shut up, Dave.
You're saying it in the real world.
My day rate's going down.
I'm gonna say, plumbers around England, aren't they?
But it's stuff like when you look at lead work, when that's done properly, that's a skill, and that's one that's sort of being lost. But
the lead work is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was doing a job in Scarborough. We did, you know, Scarborough Clock Tower. Well, we did replace a load of stones on there, and some lads came and did the lead work on the roof, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't stop watching them.
Yeah.
Literally, it just amazes me. And since then, I've just started following people, you know, different people doing lead work and stuff.
Well, the guy that I did my apprenticeship with, I think I said it on one before. 16, I was in it for the plumbing, but he was brilliant at lead work. And I just remember, I could take you to the place now. You know, when you remember something that vividly, just up on the roof, and he's tapping this lead, pulling it back, and it's just monotonous. And he said to me, keep doing lead, learn it. He went, because it's the dying art, you'll clean up with it. I'm sat on this roof, he's tapping away, I'm going, fuck this. I'm going inside where the heating's on, do a bit of plumbing. Never did it again. Done it at college, a couple of years with that guy, got out of it. Now, if you're a lead technician, lead specialist, you're laughing.
Oh no, they're brilliant. They're absolutely, they're very talented as well. I mean, them boys on that job, I couldn't believe it. It's like they did this big bit at the top, and it was in the shape of an acorn, and it moved down onto the whole roof, and then they did it out of one piece.
Yeah, just knocking them ears up, knocking it round them battens.
I just couldn't believe it. I was stood there watching them, and the lads were like, "All right, Kryss, we're gonna do something." Like, no.
Yeah.
Watching this.
But again, that's like if there was a thing on lead or yours, I just think there's a massive audience that'd be interested in just how it's done.
I do think there would be, because I get messages on Instagram all the time. I had one bloke message me and say, "Would you come out to America?" I says, I don't see why not. He says, "I'll pay you while you're here. I'll pay for your flights. I'll put you up."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, what am I doing?" He says, "I want you to teach me."
I thought he was going to say, all I want is your shorts.
I'll send them. I'll send them. I'm not bothered about that.
So how did that pan out then?
He said to me, "Come back with some dates." So I mean, I get married in August, so nothing before then.
Yeah. So it is a thing. You are.
I'm definitely considering. Definitely
Las Vegas stag.
Yeah.
Fuck Scotland, boys. Viva Las Vegas.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about it. Definitely. I've had a few messages of other people as well saying I should set up like classes on a weekend, and people come up and
especially
do it.
if you're saying it's a diet and they're not putting the grants or whatever
Well,
into
they're
it.
not. Well, I saw a post about it a while ago saying that the government were cutting funding for it, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You know, so there were petitions and things going around for them to not do it. I don't know where it got to, but I just couldn't believe it. It's like, why? Yeah. You know, it's one of the oldest recognised construction trades, but everyone forgets about it. You know, when you go and fill a paperwork out, they ask you what you do, and you know, the drop-down boxes, and it comes with different trades.
It's not even on there.
Never. It's very rarely you'll see stonemason.
It's annoying when you get locksmith and there's no stonemason. Locksmith? Come on!
Window cleaner.
Come on!
Break. No one knows what we do. I get it as well. It's like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a stonemason. What's one of them? I cut and carve things.
Probably think you're the DJs. Is it stonemasons? The DJs?
Thought there was going to be a funny handshake.
I've had that as well. So, do you have funny handshakes and stuff? No, that's Freemasons. Stonemasons, you know, it's
But
different.
I've got a black rat in my car, so in the windscreen so I can park where I like. That used to be a thing, didn't it? If you was a copper, put a black rat sticker in your car, park where you like. Apparently.
Might try that then.
Think so.
Never heard that.
Have you not?
I've never heard
It's a southern thing, Dave.
He tried a Roland rat sticker and
Gordon the Gopher.
We don't have parking spaces up in Norfolk.
So, ladies and gents, tradesmen and women, I am trying to help you organise yourself. So we have teamed up with Tradify, which is a software brand that if you are struggling to get organised, to look after your customers and to get everything ready for the jobs that you are going to need, then Tradify is an all-in-one solution. So we've teamed up with those guys. If you click this little link just up here, you get 50% off your first 3-month subscription, and you also can have a 14-day free trial. Should we slip on over to Davros?
Yes. I'll David off.
Yeah.
See what you're all about, shall we?
Yeah, I'm just going to make things up. That's far more
You
exciting.
did say you was going to just baffle us
This
with bullshit.
episode will be preceded by a fact check. Our
I played for
fact-checking
England
expert
rugby for 3 years.
scored 49,000 tries.
Didn't even break any legs, no bones, nothing.
Yeah,
So, come on then, take us back to the leaving school and what was the incentive to get in? I assume into plumbing. Did we start with plumbing or did we start with Tesco's?
I'm waiting for him to go. Started as a stonemason, but completed
No one were doing it.
Completed it. Yeah, completed
There's
it.
another guy in
Only took me 3 weeks to complete it.
Yeah. Plumbing was just sort of something I fell into, I suppose. I was always like all right at school, did quite well, most popular, captain football, rugby.
Prefect.
Yeah, all women after me all the time.
Stud.
School, I was fine, and then you just sort of change, don't you, I think, at some point, and I just had no idea what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. I preferred prattling about at school, enjoyed messing about. But I still did sixth form anyway, so just sat
Carry on prattling about for another year.
That was it, really. Just sat around chatting.
What subjects did you do? Because I always find this shows you what type of person.
Drama. It's got to be drama.
I did PE. Art.
RE, anything with an E in it.
Yeah, my final art course was handed in on a map book.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a sketch pad and it was a bit last minute, so I went and bought a map book in the middle of Knaresborough and stuck all my pictures in there. She did say it's the first time they've had that. That
Something different.
Yeah, it was unclassified, I think. But I mean, I was sort of going to do IT, but then you're looking at courses at uni. Thought I'm not going to get on any of them because I've not got anything. Yeah, that just suited me.
No.
Computer says no.
So, yeah, we had a guy that I played cricket with.
Oh yeah, you're a cricketer, aren't you?
Was it? Well, not anymore.
Ex-county.
Yeah, captain of that as well.
Completed that.
Batting award, bowling award, fielding award. But no, so I started working with this guy who I played cricket with as just see what it's like. And I think that must have been sort of the June time. So I managed to get on the college course for that September and just started doing it, and you get used to sort of earning money and thinking, I could get quite used to this here, and just sort of watching my wage going up from £3 an hour to £3.25 an hour every year, and just carried on. And I don't know, because I've done it 20 years, and I wouldn't say it's something that I always love. I have days where I really don't like the job, but then I've sort of done other things along the way. I quite fancy being that guy driving around, checking in on lads, saying, how's the job going? And
hurry up, you're costing me money. Stop filming. Stop filming, Tim.
Someone's got to pay for the fuel in this thing.
So did you work for a company?
Yeah, well, I worked with my boss, and sort of the first guy I did my apprenticeship with, and then once I'd finished my time with him, I ended up leaving, which was a bit of a sort of sore subject with him because I left pretty much straight away.
Cheers, mate.
Well, see ya. Which, but you know, I had my reasons and everything.
Yeah.
But so I ended up going for a company, and that was a little bit sort of all over the place. I enjoyed being a young lad going out and not turning in for work every now and again.
Playing cricket.
I had so many different excuses though. Like sometimes you say, I got drunk last night and I don't feel very well today. And then the next night you think, that one's not going to work well today. So I tried once. I told him I'd broken my hip, but then I've made a miraculous recovery the next day.
Next day, come back in to work.
Yeah, just I don't think I did break it in the end.
Went to the hospital and apparently it's fine.
Yeah, he used to be.
Anyway, I'm back.
when I turn up back to work, he would be heading out to see me on a job to sack me there and then, and he'd turn up and then like I'd have ended up getting cracked on for that day and go, I really want to sack you, but
couldn't pull the trigger.
I've got you too much work booked in. So that kept going for a while, and then I went self-employed. Well, yeah, as I say, it was on and off with this company where I left. We had a bit of a fallout. Again, looking back, probably my fault. But then I ended up going back working for them, and then 2014 I went self-employed. It was when we were expecting the second child.
Right.
I can't remember.
The second child.
Yeah, the second. I'm just
Can't remember the child's name, but we were expecting it.
We call
Number
it
2.
But yes, that was like the April, and so the missus was 6 months pregnant.
So how did that go from having a job, a regular income, to making that decision to then go? Was it forced? Was it? No, I've got to do it.
It's just one of those where when I sort of make a decision, and just at times there's things you decide in your head, you think I need to do that now. Right. So I wanted to go self-employed. I thought timing's not ideal, but I spoke to Helena, the missus, and she was just very much, if we're going to get enough money from it, then do it. She's never sort of presses me with things like that.
She was happy for you to give
massively,
it a go.
because I've told her it'll work out, and so it will.
Was you then telling yourself, "Oh, I'm not in today because I'll push me arm"? All of a sudden, he's fitting happy every single day.
Ringing the missus, I won't be in today.
Yeah,
I was about to say, he's mentioned baby number 2. I was like, that don't happen anymore.
No. There's never a third.
There's no need. We've done it now. Effectively.
Completed that as well.
Completed that. Stonemasonry, baby making, completed it.
Next.
Yeah, but I think with the self-employed thing, I got a bit annoyed with answering for other people's mistakes. If I cock up or it's down to me, I'm happy taking responsibility, but not for everyone else. And I seem to quite often be the guy that was sorting out other people's problems at work when they do a half-assed job or whatever. Yeah. And so, but once I went self-employed, I don't know, I just enjoy it. It all sort of seems to work. Yeah. And because I live in a village, I don't really travel that much for work.
So your work dead local to you?
A lot of it's just in the village that I live in, because I've got a reasonable reputation for my work.
Got a bit of clout though, haven't you?
That's it, massively. Oh, now that I'm starring everything.
Now he's an ex cricket champion. Yeah, football. Yeah. Rugby.
Now he turns up on a Monday.
Yeah. All the people in the village might say I'm not, but I am.
He's got 2 new hips.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've done your plumbing thing, but you're predominantly known now within the social media scene for the comedy side of what you want to do. Because you openly say, I'm not putting plumbing content out there.
No.
Everyone's doing that.
Yeah.
And you've got, you like the comedy stuff. So you're beginning, at what point did you go, right, I'm going to start putting a bit of that content out?
I don't know.
Because he thinks he's funny. He's funny.
Yeah.
Cricket champion, comedian.
Yeah. He's got the lot. He's got the lot.
Yeah. Triple threat.
I think what happened was I made a couple of reels which were amusing, and then the rest are gold. So I did a couple where I sort of thought, oh, that's amusing. But I think the biggest thing was putting my face on camera, because I think that's a stumbling block for a lot of people where they don't want to see it. But then you sort of think, well, that's my face, and it's always my face. Yeah. So just hiding it off videos isn't, it doesn't matter. Everyone's still going to see it after. But I just put a few things out there, and obviously some people like them. I sort of always tend to send them to my brother first, because if he thinks it's funny, I know it is, because we've got the same. Yeah, because he would tell me straight away.
What does your brother do?
Comedian.
I don't really know what he does. He sells gas for a company, or he works with agents who sell the gas. And he has to ring and...
Well, that's enough of the brother then.
Yeah, that's it. It isn't very...
Sells gas.
Brilliant. That's pretty much it.
He'll find anything fucking funny then, won't he?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, I don't know. We're both as daft as each other, really. So.
But yeah, I've seen some of the content you've done with your brother, or taking the piss out of your brother, basically.
Yeah.
But so with the comedy stuff, is that what you want to push the whole side of your social media?
Certainly.
You're not going to put any plumbing content in?
I don't think so, because I enjoy making the reels that I make, and I like what I get back from it. So at the moment, I've literally lost money doing that, because you're sort of losing a bit of time at work, or you're losing time at home. I don't get paid to make them.
Yeah.
It's just the idea of making things where there's a lot of negative, isn't there, on social media? Like when people put stuff out and they're slating people or going around jobs saying that shit. Yeah, all right, mate.
Yeah. It's good to
That's what you should do, though, a spoof where you go around and check on other. That shit.
And then go, well, I did this one.
Yeah, then you go, that shit. I did that wrong.
But I just sort of think all those things are covered. So you play to your strengths, and there are things when I put them together and think that's funny. There's some that aren't that funny, but there's things I put out there I don't think are funny, and then other people do. But the number of guys who will message saying they might have had like not a great day and they found the video funny or something like that. So
cheered them up.
Yeah,
it is. You know, we can all be in trade. You know, when you have a shit day and you're just flicking through, everyone's doing it, got no interest in going to it that day. You're flicking through your phone, flicking through your Instagram, and one of your posts pops up, and
then Rye Davis is on the WhatsApp.
Yeah, Rye Davis is pissed off. Hammered in on holiday.
Is he still going?
No, Bundy's just replied to it.
Has Bundy done a video?
Yeah.
Is he leathered as well?
They're in Spain 20 minutes apart.
Are they?
Rye's calling him out. Come on, Bundy. Come and see me. He won't come.
I'll have to have a look in a minute.
But yeah, so yeah, you're having a shit day at work. You're flicking through your phone, and just that little light relief of having some in the trade taking the piss out of other people in the trade, taking the piss out of me, Pete, Bundy, you know, every trades people going.
Yeah.
And you've now started doing little collabs. I've seen the collab.
Yes, yeah. Which that's quite hard. That's harder than I thought it'd be, because obviously Pete does very different things to me.
Yeah.
You know, we're both trying to make people laugh, but automatically people are comparing you.
So I don't know if if other trades have got. We've got Dave. He thinks he's funny. Pete, Plumber Tales. We've got a few, and then who's
Billy's
the other guy?
funny. He's
you've got
guy.
a few people putting funny content out. I don't know if the electricians
Billy's off his bunts,
mental, mate. Mental. I don't know if the other trades are doing that comedy side of it, which is brilliant. It's absolutely gold.
Yeah, I haven't seen him, and
we don't have any.
Do you not?
No, we're all bored.
No hilarious stonemasons.
We're all bored.
There's only 5 in the country.
There's only 5 of us left. There's me, Rach, and 3 others. I don't know what they are.
They're looking to downscale from that.
There's too many of us. Market's overrun.
It's just one of those. I've always liked making people laugh, and if I get in a situation where, like, if I'm comfortable, particularly, then I automatically just want to play up and clown about. Which, like on that showstop day, just sort of just get a bit giddy and think, I'll have to do something now.
So if you're, because it's a whole centre of attention thing, isn't it? But you've said to me before, you don't like, you're quite introverted, or you was quite introverted.
Yeah.
So is that like a persona of you?
I don't know.
Is the character you play a caricature of you?
I think, it's a hyped up version, definitely. Because when people are basically saying, is this real? Well, I don't always have a camera on my head. You see quite clearly that's not my voice.
It's real, no, I'm not real.
As your missus chimes in, like, yes, it is.
There's a lot of lads. I was speaking to a lad the other day, one of my mates, and he sort of said that social media is great for you because it's just everyone seeing how you behave, which is nice because I don't know. I like making people laugh. Obviously, when I'm at work, I don't turn up going, "Hey guys," because it'd just be weird.
knock on the door
with a Sony cam on your head,
just holding the pose into a Ring doorbell. But
I'd love that. Somebody's like, some fucking weirdos at the door.
It's the plumber.
Yeah, I just thought it's something a bit different after I'd done one or two and. Like people enjoy it and you get your views but the whole Instagram thing for me has sort of changed since I started, because straight away you want followers, you want likes, you need to be chatting to all these people, because suddenly there's like big accounts start, you know, and if you message them they message you back, don't they, Matt? And so you get replies, or like Trade Legends start following you like last week, I think.
I can't get blamed for it.
Brilliant. He messaged me and went, I think we've spoken. Dave's coming on in a couple of weeks. And I messaged you, I'm really buzzing. Then like a week later, he's like, it's nice to Trade Legends to now start following you.
And I wanted to come in and go, I like the reels. Which is your favourite then?
To be fair, you've been tagging us all week and stuff.
I have,
yeah. He's selling out now.
Oh yeah, doing his. I've said that right from the start. I'll sell out.
I'm
Highest bidder.
Still got no one to work with at installer, but
No, I haven't. No, I'm speaking to Snug still. Anyway, I said Mark doesn't want to do it anymore.
Mark's not going to turn up on Wednesday.
just make things up about him. But yeah, but that's the other thing at Installer Show, because I did set a target in sort of beginning of March this year, because I really started pushing stuff end of February. I would say I'd put a few bits out, but then I started doing stories because I didn't really know anything about that. So I started doing more then. I'd said to Helen one night, I'm going to try and build my following, and I want to do a stand-up set in Installer Show. She said, how are you going to do that? Well, I'll just build it up and then ask them. But as it was, they then asked me if I wanted to do...
You actually do one?
Yeah, not a long one. You can't believe it, can you?
Are you actually doing one?
No, if you wanted to do one, it's like whether or not they'd let you do one.
Yeah, true.
Well, they ended up coming to ask me, so I got a phone call from Grant.
Don't they have awards there as well?
Yeah, so we have...
Oh, it'd be great to do
Oh, that's a
awards.
proper thing.
So it'd be great, yeah. The Merit Awards, the Merit Awards on the Tuesday night, and they have like the proper compare. Right, today we'd like to thank so-and-so.
Well, imagine.
Yeah, him rolling up.
There's no compare tonight, just me.
Hey guys, everyone would be like, it's him. But obviously with the Installer Show on the Wednesday night, we had the Plumbers Social. But obviously Al's going to chuck some bits in for the Plumbers Social.
He wants to go.
Oh mate, it is carnage. Just come. Honestly, mate, it is everyone's hammered. Brilliant night, absolute carnage.
He's well keen. He says, "Are we going this year?"
We should come with the cameras and that.
She's like, nah, bro, too busy. Nah, bro.
We filmed for 8 hours. There's 5 minutes suitable to put out.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Plumber Social. So you got Pete Plumber Tales did it last year. Stand up in the cinema. It's probably about 20 minutes stand up.
Yeah.
But now they've got you doing it. So.
I'm sort of.
Well,
I'm not a warm up.
Pete.
I'm the first act. Pete's adamant about that.
There's you, Pete, and another. Who's the other guy?
It's the PB's doing it.
No, Pete
Taylor.
Plumber Tales.
I was going to say PB's doing
So
it.
Pete
He can't.
So Plumber Tales, the other comedian, last year at Installer Show, ripped Pete.
Yeah.
He obviously planned his whole stand-up thing. Ripped Pete. Pete didn't even go to get ripped. We were all listening to it. Oh, and he was ripping Pete. Yeah. But Pete weren't there. He was in his hotel doing press-ups or whatever he was doing.
So I wasn't
Probably
involved.
Probably think he was. I genuinely think he went to the gym.
So, as you know, myself and Pete, we always want to try and give back to the people that watch and listen to the show. So we've done you an absolute solid. We've got loads of discounts from top name brands all across the internet. So if you want to save some money on tools, software, tool bags, accessories, then go and check out our discount page, which is just located here. Hopefully there's a saving on there for you, and that's a little bit of a thank you from myself and Pete for supporting the channel. So... what else do you want to ask? Or should we go to final thought?
Final thoughts. Let's have some...
Do they do it on Jeremy Kyle? Not anymore.
No, Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer.
He's not about
Do you have to go and sit over there and do it?
He's not about
He's not alive now, so we've got to keep it going for old Jezza.
Homage. We pay homage to him.
Pay homage.
So basically, you can either plug yourself if you're doing a stand-up gig at Installer, or you can pass on some knowledge, because there's not going to be many of you left, to the wider audience. Give us a joke.
Don't want to plug that. I'll plug that today.
Do you get that a lot? Go on then, give us a joke.
No, because I'm not a comedian. I'm a plumber. This will literally be the first stand-up gig I've ever done.
Is it?
I did a best man speech 12 years ago, which was mildly amusing at best.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing stand-up. It's the fact that I've got...
Have you started planning it? Is it...
Yeah.
That's it, no? That's it.
That is a no, isn't it?
I've made some bullet points.
PowerPoint.
I've got a few notes written out of roughly where I want to go with stuff. A lot of it's sort of relevant to different...
So I know you haven't done it before, but will it be scripted, or will you just have points to go on?
What I'm hoping happens...
What I'm saying is, were you going to be rehearsing it to the missus? Helena,
No.
sit down and laugh at
Oh,
this.
no, if I do it to her, I won't end up doing the stand-up because she doesn't laugh at anything that I do.
She'd just abuse you, wouldn't she?
She just sit there, even if I say, just watch watch the new Instagram, just sit there and go, do you like it then? Yeah, it was funny. Why haven't you laughed then? That's normally a sign that something's funny.
My missus is the same.
Yeah.
She just...
Laughs on the inside.
I'll
it doesn't even laugh on the inside, mate. Just
Right till you see the fucking statue then.
Yeah.
I'll get about 15 or 20 notifications all at once, and I'll go on and I'll see our lass's name, and it's like, and then they're just all like, oh, you caught up now, have you?
Just
You finally caught up, you're a couple of days later there, I see. Yeah, she goes through and watches them all at once.
I've watched it before.
Binge watches. This is some series on Netflix.
She actually prefers watching Phil, a proper Yorkshire builder. She finds him hilarious. Honest to God, she prefers
don't watch your shit, just watch Phil.
She does. She sits and she'll watch Phil's stories and reels and everything.
This Phil, what a guy. Get Phil round there, wouldn't we go to his wedding?
So she said to me, she goes, "Oh, are you going to invite him to the wedding?" So I said, "Yeah, all right, then yeah, I'll invite him to the wedding." And
or was it are you going to invite him to the wedding?
I think she pretty much were telling me to. But then, obviously, he can't come because he's got other engagements and stuff like that. And she was devastated. She was literally devastated. She was like, "You joking?" I'm like, "No." She went, "I wanted him to announce everything and be up on stage and talk about it." Do you want to marry him? I think he's already married, you know.
No, what you want to say is, babe, I've got something better. Dave White, stand up.
Fancy a trip to Scotland.
Bring him.
Hi guys.
Can you imagine?
I think bits of advice, because I'm just sort of starting out still. Should I look at the camera when I'm doing it? I've been trying not to do that.
You need to zoom in there.
At it while it's there. Oh.
Which one do you want? The one with the red light on, Dave?
Which one? We'll zoom.
That one.
Look into that one.
Change.
Oh, is it going to be a reel?
No, what we'll try and do is zoom you in there.
No, because it's going to be serious advice and can't be serious looking into the camera.
Why not?
So,
I don't know. He don't want to look at you now. He's like,
I'll just keep looking at the microphone.
He's like this.
No, I think any advice for people
Look
going
into the
on.
camera.
Advice
That's
for people.
advice. Look into the camera.
Look at the camera. Don't be afraid to be on the camera. Can't think of advice. I've got nothing to put. Like I've literally. I've got such a busy time coming up, and I thought, well, this is one of them, and the other one's installer shows, and then that's it. Done. That's when I'm going to bow out after that. People say, are you going to try and be a stand-up comedian? I don't know, because I'll probably get up there and hate it. I'm already really nervous thinking about it.
What are you going to do if you're really good at it?
I'm going to heckle the shit out of you.
See if I enjoy it. Don't worry, mate. You've got stuff lined up. I was going to come asking you questions today. Mark, if you could do YouTube all over again, how would you make it good? This one was originally for...
Got anything to say, Kryss?
can't follow that, can I?
He's like, just do it like Phil.
Just do it like Phil.
I want to be Phil.
Like Phil.
Do you ever ring him up for advice if you haven't brought... What would you do, Phil, now, honestly?
What would you do, mate? You know.
What would Phil do?
She's rang me to get some milk. Should I get semi-skimmed or skimmed? I just don't know, Phil.
I might start doing that, actually. See what he said.
Ring Phil.
Yeah, just ring Phil. There we go. We'll sign off on that one. Just ring Phil.
I need a t-shirt with that. Just ring Phil.
Just ring Phil. That can be under your wedding suit, you know, the old birthday suit when you back to the hotel after the wedding, you know, top comes off, just a t-shirt.
Just ring Phil's face.
What would Phil
do?
Why not just go whole hog and get the tattoo?
She wishes you were
said
here.
you wanted him here. He's here.
I never thought I'd be so excited to film a podcast in a hardware store. It's magnificent, isn't it?
It's like
the manager of a light shop and a plumber.
It's like
magnificent.
It's like Home Depot in here, isn't it?
You can buy a box of 100 screws, but if you want 17, we'll take them out. There you go.
All good.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I've enjoyed it.
If you like listening to Al talk over all the guests, if you've enjoyed this episode of Trade Legends, listening to Al talk over everybody else and people banging on the desk, if you've enjoyed listening to and watching today, you're fucking gonna just stay still, one space just for a minute.
If you've enjoyed watching this, blah 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 blah.
So
Right, 3, 2, 1, go.
So I'll just not do it.
Go.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna shut up for just like a minute. If you've enjoyed listening and watching today's Trade Legends podcast, please subscribe to our channel. It will really help us out. We're a new podcast. We want to do big things, and you subscribing, hitting the little bell so you get notifications, be just great. Thank you.
Hitting the little bell. I was like, yeah, ding 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 ding.
There is a little bell in there.